Hi, I'm Chip McAllister, and welcome to the first edition of What's Happening in South Orange County. One of my most favorite people in the whole world, and somebody who's just an all-around great guy. It happens to be council member for Aliso Viejo, Mr. Bill Phillips.
Well, thank you very much, Chip. That was very nice. You almost had me crying.
No, no. I'll tell you, Bill, it just really feels great. The thing is this show is merely based on keeping people abreast of what's going on in South Orange County, and no better place to start than our beloved Aliso Viejo.
Oh, thank you. One of the things that's kind of unique about the Aliso Viejo, the city overall, is the fact that we have just a tremendous variety of housing types and product here within the city. And one of the things I always like to do is ask a local expert their opinion and their concerns and issues. So I've asked my good friend, Realtor Chip McAllister, here today to kind of give his input on how he sees the variety of housing in Aliso Viejo and how it kind of all works all the way around. So Chip, when you think of Aliso Viejo and the housing, what do you see, what do you feel?
Aliso Viejo is really different than any community that we work in. We specialize in South Orange County.
Right.
The beautiful thing about Aliso Viejo is our last 3 clients, they moved from, guess where?
Aliso Viejo.
Aliso Viejo to guess where?
Aliso Viejo.
Aliso Viejo. And it's the weirdest thing. We have a client, Mike Harrington. He just moved one community over. He was in a townhome located in the Vistas, and he moved right over to a house, a single-family residence in Carmel. And it happens all the time. We had the Titles. They moved from the Northern Loop over to Lion Ridge. And it happens, and you even talked about it right before this, how people can move from a townhome into a larger house. And then we have the senior citizen housing.
No, wait a second. You're not implying that I'm a senior and I'm going to have to be moving into any senior housing anytime soon, are you?
No. But there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
And Bill, we haven't even tapped on the really beautiful thing, the cool thing that everybody's going to now is the work-live spaces, where you can actually have like a barber shop or a coffee place right downstairs from your home over in City Walk. And if that's not something that's beautiful, the businesses you have, the international businesses, the medium-sized businesses, the small businesses, you have all of them there. All of their employees have housing from townhomes, condos to single family to...
And I always, too, make this point that if you want to be on a golf course, you can live on a golf course. Or if you want to be living close to town center and kind of where all the action is, you can kind of do that. So I also not only think there's a variety, but a variety of where you're located. So that's fascinating. Any stories of people downsizing in the community?
Oh my God, yes.
So I mean, you're going to start to see that a little bit too.
Right. And with those townhomes, they have a lot of single level properties here too, and that's very, very sought after for a lot of people.
Right.
And the other great thing is, Bill, the appreciation value for Aliso Viejo. It's always a cut above most of the other communities because it's such a an upwardly mobile.
Do you contribute that to anything? I mean, I personally think the property value keeps going up here because of really 2 things. One of which is there's fewer and fewer places around all of Southern California that can be close to open space. And I think people are valuing that. And the other thing I think there's a connection to is the fact that we do keep bringing in these big companies and big corporations, and that the people want to live closer and closer to their work. So I think those are the 2 things that underlying are always constantly, driving it up. And quite honestly, as my dad says, you can't find a better place weather-wise than here in Southern California. So we always have that on our side. But do you see anything on that you would like to comment on or feel?
Well, the one thing that I always base every decision on is, yeah, we might have infrastructure,
Right.
we might have great communities, but Bill, it always points back to the people.
Right.
And the people of Aliso Viejo are so welcoming, so
Sure.
kind. They're so family oriented. And, you know, nobody's perfect, but the culture is fun loving, supportive,
Sure.
and
No,
and it's just a fun, cool
Fun
place to be.
You know, I would agree with that. I think we're a community that tries harder. That's what I always say. I know you are doing this just because we're boot camp partners. And
The reason we're so close is because every Friday morning we get to be 7-year-olds in our boot camp class at the Renaissance Club Sport in Aliso Viejo, where we run around with our fearless leader Nigel. She's about 3'2". No, she's not that short, but she's really, and she's just a drill instructor in our boot camp at Renaissance. You guys should really check it out. And Bill and I,
we always say that if we were together, if we grew up together, we'd be the troublemakers in the third grade class. That's for
Right.
sure, because that's all we do in this class is create trouble.
That's right.
Yeah.
But we have a great time. But the thing, Bill, that I'd like to talk about today is where we got to know each other. The Renaissance
Sure.
Club Sport. What does the Renaissance Club Sport in Aliso Viejo mean to you?
Well, it's interesting because before the Renaissance Club Sport opened, we didn't really have a place in the community where residents and even people outside the community could come and gather. And I just find that it's a place that when you go in, people are happy, they're in a good mood, they're very communicative. You know, one of the things I've noticed in the world today is that people just don't say hi anymore, you know? And when we're in that place, everybody's just, they're in a good mood. They say hi and, you know, they want to talk almost. So it's a neat place. And I always tell people that the back patio on that place, which is open to the public, is just really one of the nicest places, I think, in all of South County.
Well, I couldn't concur with you more.
Yeah.
When Kim and I first moved out to Orange County, we lived in Coto de Caza in 1999.
I hear that's a pretty nice community.
Oh yeah,
actually.
Coto de Caza
Yeah.
is beautiful. I love Coto de Caza.
Yeah.
However, several years later, we became members at the Renaissance Club Sport in Aliso Viejo, and Kim and I would make that drive to the Renaissance Club
Wow.
Sport every
Every
day. And people talked about how far it was, but I'll tell you, we call it our cheers.
Cheers,
Because
that's
when we
right.
come through, hey Chip, hey Kim, hey
Right.
CJ, hey Kristen, it's like the people are so friendly. So this is not a commercial for Renaissance Club Sport, but it is an awesome place, one of the best places you'll ever.
Yeah, no, it really is it's interesting because I can remember I was the mayor that year that it opened. And literally it took 6 years to get that project finally, you know, agreed to, developed, and built. And I just could not wait for it to happen. And when it opened, man, it was really a big hit. And I think it's one of the key things that has really made this community. So I'm just tickled pink. And, you know, they seem to do a pretty good job, I think.
Oh, they do a great job. But Bill, here's the great thing about Aliso Viejo. As great as the Renaissance Club Sport is, you can just go on and on. How about the town center? How about Soca? How about the parks? How about the businesses?
Right.
Where does it end? How is and why is Aliso Viejo such a great city?
Well, you know, the original masterminds of the community had a concept, and I think it was pretty novel way back. And believe it or not, they were working on this place way back in the late 70s, mid to late 70s. But the concept was live, work, and play. I kind of expanded it just a little bit to go live, work, play, shop, and learn. But because I honestly do think that we as humans like to do those other two things too as well. But it's a really balance, and that's what most people don't really appreciate. The fact is that not only is it balanced between open space and the built environment, but it's balanced in all of its uses that we have. Everything's here, you know, everything's close, everything's here, and it really is true if you think about it. we have stores that everybody can, use. We could use more of them, trust me. We could use more restaurants, but we have our fair share. We have some of the best open space. We have, some of the best companies here. We just have it, and it's that balance that we have. Our center is the hole in the donut, and everything kind of comes into that, and then we're surrounded by open space. And we kind of lucked out on that due to the fact that originally when the community was laid out, the flight pattern for El Toro was right over town center, so they couldn't put any housing in it. And by the way things have morphed, since the airport is closed down, we've allowed to put housing on either end of it. But really, there is a center focus to it, and I really think that helps because physically there's only one place, it's the center, and everybody can get to it easily. And the other issue is that once everybody's in that center, they recognize other people within the community, and I just think it makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. So, yeah, so it's been an interesting haul over the last 20 years to see this little place just seem like it has sprouted up. It's pretty amazing.
I want to thank you for being my first guest ever.
I appreciate it now. I'm surprised you didn't want to do this at boot camp, though.
I know we should.
Because it would be much more interesting.
But we've been speaking with Councilman Bill Phillips, one of the most awesome guys I know, about the city of Aliso Viejo, which we both love dearly. And I want to thank you for joining us on the first ever What's Happening in South Orange County with Chip McAllister. And let's see you next time, all right?